Hey, everybody, this is Doug from Live a Memory. You know, I love talking about memories. I love hearing about memories. I love hearing about the memories that you are living, the things that you're doing, the places that you're going. And I tell you what, I've got something really excited to say. We've got a huge memory coming up. My wife and actually, I should say memories, lots of memories. My wife and I are heading from Detroit. We're going to be flying to Seattle. And then from there, we are going to be taking a cruise ship up to Alaska. I mean, we'll talk about bucket list. This is a bucket list dream, bucket list memory that I have had for, for a very long time. So we are going to be taking on Holland America Lines. We're going to be taking the Nieuw Amsterdam, and that's going to take us up to the coast along Alaska. And just showing you where we're going to be. We're going from Seattle, and we're going to go up to Ketchikan and Sitka and Glacier Bay and Stevens Passage, Icy Strait, and Juneau. And I tell you what, that is just so, like I said, you could tell I'm kind of losing my what I could say because I'm so doggone excited here. So to learn more about Juneau, because Juneau is a place that I've always heard as a traveler, I've always heard about Juneau, but I don't know a lot about it. And so to learn more about Juneau, I am so excited to have with us. We've got Ben Rubenstein from Travel Juneau. Ben, how you doing today, dude?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Doug?
I'm doing great because I'm talking to you. I am just so far excited. So where are you right now?
I'm in Juneau.
You're in Juneau. Okay. All right.
Absolutely. I'm sitting at my apartment doing some work from home stuff.
Sure.
Have a beautiful view of Mount Roberts, the tram, and actually the cruise ship docks. So
really, no kidding.
Yeah, get a view of the ships.
Oh my goodness! Oh, yeah. Dude, so that means when we come in, I gotta text you or something like that, let you know we're there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll wave to you.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh yeah, I just I gotta thank you. I gotta thank Travel Juneau because you have sent some really cool pictures that I've been able to take a look at. And so, I just went the route, right there. But there's one picture that really gets me here. And here you go, Ben. Thank you for joining us for Travel Juneau. We'll talk a little bit more about Travel Juneau as we go along here. But, well, first of all, where is Juneau? I showed it here on this map. It's way up here, but can you give me maybe some geography or, where is it in relation to, we're coming out of Seattle. So where is Juneau in, let's say, relation to Seattle?
So Juneau is a 2-hour flight from Seattle.
Okay.
Anchorage is about a 4-hour flight. And so as the airlines fly, we're about halfway between Seattle and Anchorage.
Uh-huh.
We're located in a part of Alaska known as Southeast Alaska. Alaska's kind of subdivided into regions because it's so big.
Right.
But that Southeast Alaska part is that thin sliver of land and outlying islands that runs along the Canadian border.
Mm-hmm.
So we located in Southeast Alaska, and yeah, I mean, it's a wild, remote place, but it's home. It's the state capital.
How did it become the state capital? Like you said, Alaska is so large.
Mm-hmm.
In Juneau, when I look at the map, I mean, why did people pick Juneau? No disrespect to Juneau, but it's like it seems difficult to get to. Maybe it's not. Maybe as I'm looking at it, maybe it's not. But it just seems difficult to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, I want to acknowledge that we're going to be talking about Juneau in present day tense.
Uh-huh.
But the human history in Juneau and throughout all of Alaska dates back well over 10,000 years.
Oh, wow.
Juneau sits on the ancestral lands of the Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian people.
Wow.
And so when you talk about Juneau being the state capital, way before the state of Alaska even existed,
Right.
there were people here. And Alaska began to be discovered by Russia, actually, because it was actually easier to cross the Gulf of Alaska than it was to get over the coastal mountain range, which is that
Oh,
big white streak that you see on the right side of that slide.
yep.
That is a series of ice fields and mountains that is actually the size of the state of Rhode Island. Really, really hard to cross. And so that's why Russia was the first Western country to get here.
Sure.
And Russia settled the area, and they're under Russian control. The town of Sitka was the state capital, or the territory capital. And that was mainly because Sitka was the first island that they got to on this part of southeastern Alaska. It was also a really good trade hub for the fur trade.
I can imagine. Yeah.
And so when the U.S. bought Alaska from the Russians, they originally planned on keeping Sitka as the capital. They didn't really plan on doing much with Alaska at all.
Right.
But very shortly after they bought it, they actually discovered gold in Juneau. And so the booming gold industry
there you go.
happened at the exact same time that the fur industry started to die down. And Juneau was also closer to Seattle, which was the closest U.S. port to Alaska. And so it was kind of a few factors, the U.S. buying Alaska from Russia, the declining fur trade, the booming gold industry, and its proximity to Seattle, that was ultimately the decision that led to Juneau being the capital. A lot of times people ask, why not Anchorage? Why not Fairbanks?
Right.
Larger cities.
Right.
Neither of those cities existed when the decision to make Juneau the capital was made.
Sounds completely logical.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go back in my history books here. Was that Seward's Valley?
Yes.
Was that Seward's Valley when they purchased Alaska?
Yes.
Yes. It's boy, anybody that was making fun of Seward back then, completely wrong, folks. You got that pick wrong. That is for sure. You got it wrong. So, okay, is tourism a big part of of Juneau? Is that a big component of the everybody around Juneau? And this picture I'm looking at right here, Ben, I got to tell you, that right there, and when I got off the traveljuneau.com site, that is the first picture I've ever seen of Juneau. No kidding. I've heard of Juneau. I have, just always fancied going there. That is the first picture I've ever seen. I'm absolutely in love with that picture right there.
Yeah. So that photo is downtown Juneau, and the mountain that's rising up to the right-hand side is Mount Juneau. Which stands a little over 3,000 feet.
Really?
And as you can see from the photo, it goes straight up.
Oh, wow.
And then those docks on the left-hand side, bottom left-hand side, that's actually where your cruise ship pulls up.
Oh, right here?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
So it pulls up right next to town. Makes for a super easy, approachable walking destination. Or if you're going on an adventure, you get picked up by buses and taken out to the outlying areas of Juneau. But outlying is a relative term. We only have about 40 miles worth of coastline. And so there's no such thing as a long drive in town.
Right.
But yeah, the tourism industry is really important to Juneau's economy.
Sure.
That summer tourism boom, brought in by the cruises, allows for Juneau to really thrive in ways that a town of 30,000 people might not be able to, especially when we're this remote.
Right.
And so there have been a lot of locals that have started tourism companies and transportation companies and guide companies. They've opened up breweries and restaurants and bars, and Juneau as a town is able to have all of those things year round because we have that boom tourism season during the summer. And so it's really exciting to be here during the summer. It's quite the hustle. A lot of people, a lot of moving parts, but people thrive on that. They really do love that busy summer season because it's exciting to be on the go.
Dude, you're getting me so excited. I can't wait to get upstairs, start packing, get the suitcases all packed up. and get on out there. So okay, it's for this particular visit, it's in September. But for other people that are interested in going up to Alaska, going maybe on a cruise, to Alaska and visit Juneau, what I mean, like, is there a season, like a tourist season that people can book in? If they're going to do any plans, get on a cruise line, is there like a recommended window that you go from like start to finish in the season?
Yeah, so there is definitely a traditional tourism window, but Juneau's tourism economy is here year round. For someone like me, I actually came up to Juneau to be an ice climbing guide. I'm here for the winter. I'm here for the snow and the mountains and the ice. That's what I love. It just so happens that summer is also amazing, which is why I've decided to stay. And so, Juneau we have a ski resort. We have some of the best heli skiing in the world. We have ice climbing. So that winter destination still very much exists, but you're totally correct that it's that summer time, May to September, where most of the people will come and see us.
Sure.
And that's because the cruise ships, that's when they're here.
Right.
But also just because summer is when the U.S. decides to travel, and the vast majority of the people that come to Juneau are from the States.
What kind of weather would you expect in that? Okay, this is September, and I don't want to say you had to visit in September. You got that, like you said, May to September, but what kind of weather, or temperatures might, because we're always looking about packing and, what we should bring, that sort of stuff. I know it's not a Caribbean. It's not a Caribbean cruise here. It's different. So, do you have any recommendations for anybody that might be coming?
Yeah, absolutely. So Juneau sits in a temperate rainforest climate. And the temperate part of that is that during the summer, our average is in the mid 60s Fahrenheit.
Really? No kidding.
Yeah. A hot day in Juneau is 75 to 80 degrees.
No kidding. Wow.
Hot day. Yeah. And so it is a very temperate climate. The flip side of that is that it remains temperate in the winter as well. And so Juneau, we do not get the extreme weather conditions that a lot of people associate with Alaska. It's not frigid, cold, and dark all the time. I don't live in an igloo kind of thing. So that temperate climate's really, really nice, especially because there are parts of the country right now that are experiencing record heat waves and wildfires. This very much is a destination that doesn't experience that. With that being said, the other side of that temperate rainforest climate is the rainforest.
Sure.
And you can't have a rainforest without a lot of rain. And so Juneau gets on average around 230 days of rain.
Really?
That's a lot. Yeah. And so
dude, that's a lot.
talking about packing lists and what to expect with weather.
Right.
Expect rain. At some point during your stay, it will absolutely rain here in Juneau. We call it liquid sunshine. The locals all embrace it. It's because it's not the driving thunderstorms of the Midwest. It's a nice drizzle.
Okay.
And that drizzle lasts for hours and hours, whereas the Midwest, it might rain for an hour and a half and then be done.
Right.
But it's not that driving thunderstorm rain, but you will get wet. So pack a rain jacket, pack some rain pants, and bring good water shoes. Water shoes,
okay. We've got those. Get the rain jacket. Got to look in the next 12 hours here, so got to look into the rain pants then.
Rain pants are the lowest on that priority.
Okay, good. Okay. Yeah. So we can make do as long as maybe we have two pairs of pants.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll do that. But no, that's cool, because just hearing that, especially from you, being there, that's always great advice to hear it from the locals on what you should pack. And we do have the waterproof boots. It sounds like we are pretty much ready to, get to Juneau there. So a question for you, we did take a look at one of the pictures, but when our ship pulls in, and I can't wait for our ship to pull in, what are we going to see? And I'm going to go back to that one picture. So we're going to see this, or our ship kind of pulls in around here?
Yep. right there, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, and so that you're gonna be coming from the north, and
Uh-huh.
so the right hand side is gonna have the mainland, and on a clear day from your boat, depending on what the where the clouds are and where the fog is,
Right.
there's parts of that ride into town where you can actually look into Canada.
Oh, no
Uh,
kidding.
the mountains you're looking at are technically Canada. Not technically, they are Canada. And so you're going to be coming in from the north, and on your right hand side is going to be this view perfectly. Downtown Juneau is going to be on your right, and then rising up behind it is going to be Mount Juneau and Mount Roberts. It's an iconic view. And then on your left hand side, when you're coming in, you're going to have Douglas Island. So Douglas Island is a neighborhood of Juneau. It's where one of the old gold mines was located, and it's equally picturesque. Just massive green hills. And when you're here next week, you're still going to be seeing patches of snow on these mountains.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do like the name Douglas Island. That does. I've got to get a picture there.
You're only partially biased, yeah. So
Yeah.
Doug, on that photo, what you're looking at there is that photo is taken from the perspective of Mount Roberts, looking west. And so that channel, that body of water, is the channel that your cruise ship will come in on.
Sure.
And that bridge that you're looking at is the bridge from mainland Juneau over to Douglas Island. So all
okay, get over there.
Looking at are Douglas Island.
Can you, as I'm thinking about it, just getting around, the cruise ship docks somewhere around here, I suppose. Is everything kind of walking distance, or would you take a cab, or how would you get as a tourist from a transportation perspective?
Yeah. So as far as destinations downtown, everything is extremely walkable from the cruise docks. They were like that for a reason. People who are doing larger adventures like a whale watch or a helicopter tour, a glacier tour, they'll have buses that will take them to the starts of those itineraries. If you have a bit more of an independent streak as a tourist, there are several cab companies in town, and we do have Ubers and Lyfts. We just don't have any drivers.
Okay.
And so before going with taxis or Ubers and Lyfts, triple check that your cell phone will work at the destination that you're going to, so that you can actually call yourself a ride back home.
Okay.
Having a set time to get picked up by that same taxi company
is probably a smart thing rather than just kind of a random thing. So if you don't have the signal, if you set a time, in theory, you're going to get your ride back. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be in port from 1 o'clock to 10. Mm-hmm. So there's our window right there. And I think right about now the sun sets 7:30 or something like that. Yep. So we're going to have a little opportunity to see some of Juneau in the evening, hopefully have dinner someplace, and then would maybe talk about this in a minute, but I think it's Mendingenhall Glacier. Yes. We are taking a helicopter ride up to Mendingenhall Glacier and then getting out there. So, dude, I'm so geeked about that. Absolutely.
That's my old office.
Is it really?
Yeah. Me and the Mendenhall we've shared a lot of memories. Let's put it that way.
Oh man, thank you for saying that. It's memories, man. It's all about those memories, right? Oh, that is so cool. So, okay, besides maybe taking the helicopter ride up to Mendingenhall Glacier, which actually, how far away from that is Juneau? I mean, as I'm looking at this, I don't see any glaciers in the picture. How far away is like Mendingenhall and the other glaciers?
15, 20-minute drive.
Oh, really? That's it? No kidding. Yeah. So you go from this to glaciers in like a 15, 20-minute drive?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So recall that map that you had at the very beginning and that ice field that I pointed out. This photo that you're seeing right here, if you were to be in a helicopter flying the other way, you would immediately see that ice field. That ice field is only about 3 miles away from where this photo was taken.
Oh my gosh.
So Juneau everything is really condensed here. And sometimes, there's such a thing as it being too condensed.
Sure. Sure.
But 95% of the time, it's really amazing. The longest drive that I can go for in Juneau is about 40 minutes.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's from end to end.
Yeah.
And in that drive, I can see 3 glaciers.
Oh my goodness. Wow. You are just, oh.
It's unlike any other place I've ever been to. And I've been to quite a few spots. And the variety and the accessibility of what Juneau has to offer is honestly the difference between me staying and me going.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, when we were talking, I asked what memories await in Juneau, Alaska. Well, you're just rattling these things off. I'm a little bit, 1 to 10, man. It's not long enough. Clearly not long enough. Are there any inside things you would recommend? I mean, we're talking about all these cool things in the outside and sight to see. Is there anything on the inside that you would recommend?
Absolutely. So we have 3 incredible museums in town.
Oh, wow.
As the state capital, we actually host the State Museum, which
Sounds
does
logical.
excellent exhibits. Right now, they have an incredible exhibit on raven robes, which are traditional Tlingit woven ceremonial robes. And it goes into how, the purpose of the robes and the artwork behind them.
Oh, that would be so cool to see that.
Design. Yeah, it's an absolutely beautiful exhibit. We also have the City Museum, which dives into the native heritage of the area, as well as, when Juneau was being founded, the gold rush, that kind of thing. And then the last one, unfortunately, with COVID protocols at the moment, it's still closed. But for people who are coming in 2022 or beyond, the Sealaska Heritage Institution is a museum that is owned, operated, and run by Sealaska Heritage Institute, which is the cultural body that maintains Tlingit, Haida, and Tsimshian culture in the present day.
Wow. Wow. And, and that's always the thing that when we go to a place, it's not just seeing the outside things, which are absolutely spectacular, but learning about the culture too. I mean, there's so much, as you said earlier, thousands and thousands of years of culture and history. And so that's part of the excitement is, learning about those things too.
Yeah. If museums aren't really your thing, if you like beer, Juneau's a great beer town. We have 4 breweries and a gin and whiskey distillery. So go on a little bar crawl. And then downtown Juneau is just fun, is just full of fun.
If you don't mind, email me some of those breweries, please.
Absolutely. I would be happy to.
We will be taking some film, from the different locations and got to get something from the brewery. Boy, when you said that, it's like, that's awesome, because that was one of my questions for you, talking about food and that. Okay. You got me. You caught me red-handed right there. I'm there.
Yeah. So when it comes to food and drink in Juneau, one thing that people would probably be the fastest to recognize is Alaskan Brewery. That's located here in Juneau.
Is it really?
It is. Yep. And so Alaskan is one of the first micro breweries ever. And they're in 25 states now. And they did it in a city that there are no roads to.
Wow.
Which is really, really impressive.
That is cool.
And so they kind of paved the way, and we've had 3 breweries follow that path. We also have an amazing gin and whiskey distillery, Amalga. But other than that, Juneau being right on the ocean, having a very large fishing industry, any seafood you can find is going to be great seafood. A lot of it is wild Alaskan caught, which is a very important branding, because Alaska in general is considered to be one of the most sustainably managed fisheries in the entire world. Wow. And so when you have that wild Alaskan label, you can trust that the fish that you're eating, the product that you're eating is sustainable. and it's also really high quality, which is amazing. We also have a really fun concentration of incredible chefs in town. We have 2 James Beard nominated chefs, both of whom have won the Great American Seafood Cook-Off.
No kidding.
Yeah, and so the quality here is there. It's only a town of 30,000, and so don't expect there to be dozens of offerings in every cuisine.
Sure.
But people are always really pleasantly surprised about the food scene here, because I think that they're expecting just grungy dive bar food and not world-class seafood, world-class Italian, world-class pizza. It's really incredible, and a really great way if you have a half day and you're coming in on a cruise and you just kind of want to taste a bunch of them, do a Juneau food tour.
Wow.
It's a 2.5-hour tour, and it stops at 6 or 7 locations and just lets you try all of it, and you can go back and pick your favorite for dinner.
Well, if you don't mind, email me that too, please.
I will.
Sorry, you get this whole list of things I'm looking forward to. Oh my gosh. It just, as we're talking, I just can't wait. I'm just looking at some of these pictures here again. It just absolutely, it's just that breathtaking. Is this somewhere, when we get out the boat, I've got to do the tourist picture, right? You got to have a picture standing next to me with my Live in Memory shirt, standing next to this. I hope that this is close to where the boat comes into the dock.
Yep, it's right there, right when you get off. Yep. And so that particular sign is located right in between the tram building, which is a very, very easy building to find, and our visitor center. And so that sign sits right in between, and you can kind of see those on. Yep, there it is, our visitor center. That sign is in the landscaping on the left-hand side, Doug.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I see some of the colors too. Do you have a lot of, like you see in other coastal towns that, we've been to? Do you have, is there any color coordination there like you might see in other places too?
So that coloring was actually purposefully designed to represent the scales of a salmon.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to convey.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Wow. That's, I can't wait. You know what? I'm not going to tell anybody else this. When we get out the boat, I'm going to say that. I'm going to sound like the really, really smart dude. It's like, oh, what? You know that,
Right.
Oh, yeah. I'm not even going to tell my wife about it. I'm just going to let her know, what to get. Oh, I think those are the scales of the salmon. I was reading about that. So here's a picture of, I think this is Mendingenhall Glacier, where we're going to be going up to. So again, we're just so excited about that. And our helicopter actually lands in the glacier. We're going to be up on the glacier for like 20 minutes or so, walking around. How thick are the glaciers? Not to get too geologic here, but I mean, from where you're standing, how deep is a glacier typically?
Oh gosh, so that varies dramatically depending on the environment. But the Mendenhall back in 2019 was about 400 feet thick, and it was coming at about 100 feet out of its terminal lake, the Mendenhall Lake. But it does kind of get exponentially thicker as you go back towards the source. And so at any given moment, you have several hundred feet of ice below you. It's kind of hard to fathom.
It is hard to fathom, isn't it? It just, nature is just, Mother Nature, I say, is my favorite artist. And when you see stuff like this, I mean, it's hard to argue with that. Just the artistry that's, involved to make something like this is absolutely phenomenal. And so I see what you're saying when it comes out, into like the lake and that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, we're not going to bump into any of the locals. Besides you, maybe we're not going to bump into any of the other locals, are we?
So you won't bump into any of these locals. There's a small chance that you'll bump into their black cousins. But That photo is taken over on Admiralty Island, which is the island west of Douglas. And so it's the one island over. Admiralty Island is huge, Doug. It's over 100 miles long and
Wow.
like 60 miles wide. It's just kind of unfathomable. But it's the home to the largest or the most concentrated brown bear population in the entire world.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
about a bear every square mile.
Wow. That's amazing. When you say the size, I think that's larger than Rhode Island. The state of Rhode Island, I don't think it's that large.
Yeah, 100 by 16. It's big. It ranks, don't quote me on this, I'm fairly confident, I'm about 85% confident that it's in the top 10 for largest islands in the world.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it has a brown bear, a coastal brown bear, for one every square mile.
Wow, amazing. So Ben, we could keep talking all day long. I mean, I would love to talk all day long, but two things. We don't want to let the listener, the viewer, drone have to listen to us all the time, for hours on end. And plus, right. I need to get upstairs, get some packing done. Right. But, if you're a visitor, you're coming to visit Juneau, what are 2 or 3 memories that you would really hope that they leave with? I know there's dozens and there's so many memories, it's ridiculous. But if there's any maybe like generic ones, that you would recommend that, you see, even if it's trying to see a sunset or sunrise or, just get a vantage point of something. I don't know if there's like a memory or two that you might recommend that people want to go home with.
Yeah, so I think that the first one would be just an appreciation for wild things. Whether you go for a glacier or you go whale viewing or bear viewing,
sure,
or go for a hike, you're still in the wild. You're in the Alaskan wilderness, and don't let the accessibility of it fool you. You're very much in the wild.
Sure.
And those memories attached to wild places are crucial for the sustainability and the longevity of those spaces. And so having those moments where you can say, okay, this is actually really important to protect and to save, because I want other people to have the memory that I just got.
Yep.
That's number one. I would say number 2 is coming away with a knowledge and appreciation for the people that came before you. And working to be a conscious tourist that recognizes the indigenous history of a place, and also respects the locals that are here. Your hiking trail is my hiking trail, and I don't want to pick up your trash. You don't want to pick up mine. And so being that conscious traveler and leaving with a knowledge of how to do so is really, really important. And the third one is Juneau is such an approachable city. Everything's nice and condensed. It's easily navigated. It's easily walked. There are a lot of companies that will help you through that experience. And I think that one memory, it's not necessarily a memory, but one takeaway that I would love people to have after coming to Juneau is the confidence to go out and have that experience again. Do it on your own.
Yeah.
And so if it may not necessarily be a hike onto the top of an Alaskan mountain, but go for a hike in your backyard. Go experience and promote the state park systems that are a lot closer than you probably realize. And, having kind of that light bulb turn on of, okay, it's really fun to be outside, be active, and experience these new things. Thank you
so much for saying that. I often say that you don't have to go far to live a memory, because memories wait in your own backyard. And even though going on a trip like this, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's fun. It's such a delight to be able to go on a huge trip like this. But you hit that on the head. We've got some local parks that are just like a mile away from here that, we could see. We're by a river, and you see deer, and just, you're in the woods. And so we're only that far away. And you can live those memories so very close in your own backyard. I mean, that's just, thank you. I mean, the way that you summarized that it was absolutely perfect, Ben. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So where else, traveljuneau.com, I would think it is a great place, of course, to learn more about Juneau.
Absolutely. Traveljuneau.com is a great one. In the modern age, Facebook and Instagram is also chock full of information and experiences. It's a very visual platform, right? And so you can actually see someone go for a hike. If you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, you're going to be seeing all the hikes that I go on because I run the social media.
Oh, do you really?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
But honestly, Doug, anywhere you go, whether it's Sitka, Ketchikan, Skagway, or beyond Alaska, your local destination marketing company is a great first place. Most of us have travel or visit in our name, but we're just a bunch of locals that have a ton of enthusiasm for helping people experience this place.
Sure.
And it's what we do, it's what we love, and those resources are there for you all to enjoy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's how I found you, Ben. Looking, actually, I found you on Twitter first. And I just kind of drilled down from there, so it's like, and I said, boy, I need to talk to somebody, want to talk to somebody about this. So I got to say, Ben, thank you. This is such, not just for me that's going to be going there soon, but I hope to inspire other folks, as they're looking at this, learning about Juneau, that hope to inspire them to, book a cruise, and actually come up and visit you and, all the wonderful folks in Juneau. It's about inspiring and motivating and really want people to, go out and live a memory. I often say that the souvenir I want to come home with are not necessarily the shirts or the trinkets and that, it's the memories. That's a souvenir that I cherish the most. Absolutely. And so it's such an awesome delight, to have those, those memories.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The experience is just that. It's the experience.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, again, Ben, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Travel Juneau, for allowing us to use these pictures here that we've been showing. I recommend going out to the site. It's just, just a great site. This, for me personally, is really cool because this is my 49th state that I'm visiting. And it is the 49th state that was, into the Union. So it's kind of fitting, that I've got 49 for 49.
Yeah, and then all you'll have is one more to catch up to me.
That's it. I'll get out of town, really? So let me ask you this, Ben. Does it count? I have not been to Alaska, but I've seen Alaska fairly close because all the times my trips over to Japan and China and South Korea and Taiwan, we fly right over the top of Alaska. So I've seen Alaska many, many times from like 36,000 feet. I don't know. Does that count or not? I mean,
I don't think I can give that to you, Doug. I think I'd be more inclined to give it to you if I didn't know that you wouldn't be here in 4 days. But no. I think that this next week will be your first time in Alaska.
It will be the first time in Alaska. There's no doubt about that. Can't wait to, go to Alaska. So we're going to be getting this video, Ben. We'll put it on Live a Memory on YouTube, and then we'll also be promoting it on Twitter, put a link on Facebook and talk about it on Instagram. And, really what it's all about is inspiring folks to go out and live memories, and again, you don't have to go as far as Alaska and Juneau to live a memory. Memories are waiting in our own backyards. So really, I want to inspire people to get on out there, and live a memory. And so that's what it's really all about.
Yes, it is. And when you're living your Juneau memory next week, let me know and we'll get a beer.
Dude, we're going to get a picture of that too, okay?
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right. Well, Ben, again, thank you so very much. This was such a delight. I'm just grinning ear to ear the whole time. And, learned a lot about Juneau as well, too.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Always excited to share, and can't wait to see the video.
You got it. You got it. Well, Ben, thank you again, man.
Thank you. Bye, Doug.
All right. We'll see you.